Let's now take you through the front pages of Nigerian newspapers to see what the headlines are this morning and return for some analysis. The Nation newspaper kicks off with some political conversations. Amechi, how Fayemi and I began opposition coalition. Again, talking about how the ADC has come to be together. We will analyze all of that when we come back to talk more. And the blueprint follows suit in political talks this morning. No sacred cow is in our investigations of politicians. EFCC tells the ADC, of course, that will always be the case. Let's move a little bit now to some other matters. The airline conversation still going on, and the Guardian is showing us something here. Outrage over Ibom Air incident as IG orders Kwam1's probe. A fingering back to Kwam1 here. What is this all about? We'll tell you as we make our way to this Nigeria newspaper on the same line as well. Passengers versus cabin crew. Over 4,000 complaints lodged. It seems like these two cases has made Nigerians come out of our shelves to say, hey, something has been going on in the airport. We even have experience on this table too. And the Leadership newspaper takes us on a different conversation this morning on prison reforms. We see here Nigeria records third jailbreak in 2025 as 16 inmates flee Kefi prison. It seems like the prison walls are becoming weak. The Daily Times also talks same. Jailbreak, 16 inmates flee Kefi prison, 5 officers injured. Sad one there. And the Hope newspaper, still on the same line, prisons in trouble over increasing death row inmates. We will see what the NCOS said about this. But let's quickly run to another matter. Again, back to the EFCC investigation as the News Direct shows us a different angle to that. Public officials pre-declaring assets to mask corruption. I thought the Conduct Bureau, required that you declare your asset before you get elected, or all right, but we'll let you know exactly what this is all about. The Platform Times also deals with that. Politicians now lists stolen assets in advance, says the EFCC. Okay. And finally, on the Sporting Live this morning, Gala didn't respect my contract. This is Osimhen, my guy, talking. What is going on? Etoma, Ibrahim, and Ria looking always beautiful. Etoma, let me begin with you with the Nation newspaper, but I'll be a little biased this morning, Etoma. Right. We see there in Cross River a picture story of Governor 2, the Vice President is there at the inauguration of Cali Air. A proud one for Cross Riverans, isn't it?
Oh yes, it is a proud one for Cross Riverans, and I'm happy the inauguration is happening after the Ibom Gate
incident, right?
Right. So Cali Air should take some lessons from that and train their crew very well before they actually
I actually saw a headline of something I can't mention that if you fly Cali Air.
You saw it? I almost sent it to you.
Cali Air actually looks like a private jet because I saw it and I was just asking the question like when was it introduced into? It just looks like the one I saw, the aircraft that I saw. Very cool, sleek.
I love the name actually, Cali Air. But we're not doing promo for them.
I think we should all take a flight on it to Calabar back to Lagos. But Ria, Fayemi and Amechi, or Amechi rather, is talking about how himself and the former governor of Ekiti State and former minister as well, came together to form this new coalition. The writer here says, we started in Nasiru Dani's house. This claims lack basis, says Ekiti governor. They're saying that was where the conversation began, and today, voila.
Well, wherever it began, let's just see it stand the test of time.
Right.
And Amechi is actually saying a lot at this moment. I saw him speak about the fact that, when he gets into power in 1 year or so, you know, corruption is going to go. That's his promise to Nigerians. He also made a statement that he was also going to do just 1 term or something. He's saying a lot. Election is coming. People will make different statements. Wherever you made it, whether in your kitchen, whether you're any hole you made it, as long as it can stand the test of time and you come up with ideologies, that's the most important. Not telling us where it started. Tell us what you're going to do for the betterment of Nigeria. It's not personal interest. It's about Nigerians.
Let us look at the political implications. Fayemi is not just a member of the APC. He is a heavyweight in the APC.
That's right.
And this man is coming out to say, look, we started this coalition thing. You are casting aspersions on Fayemi and putting him in a political quagmire. So my question is, why would you want to do that? You know?
And who really cares about where you started the conversation?
You know, like Ibrahim actually acknowledged earlier, all of them are heavyweights. I mean, I don't think there's any small fry amongst any of them.
Yeah, but at the same time, even when I say they are heavyweight, there are some of them that cannot even win their base when it comes to elections. Yeah.
Like?
Don't let me mention that.
Which would not make me ask Ibrahim.
He can't win his base.
Let me ask you that, Ibrahim.
I didn't come again, I didn't get that.
Babachir Lawal.
Okay.
So when we then say heavyweight, what exactly
So
makes
who are the heavyweights?
Yeah, so you know, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is a serial contender for elections. You know, he's done that. If he's doing this time around, it might be the 6th or 7th time that he's doing it perpetually. So it's okay. But one thing is, when you have these people coming together, to what end? Is it because they are grieved, or because they have the love of Nigerians at heart? Because everything they've been saying is we want to wrestle power from the incumbent.
Right.
For what? So when you get the power, you grab the power, you want to run with it, as the incumbent president has said. What would you do with it? Because at the end of the day, the power might overwhelm you, and you won't even know what to do.
Hence the Blueprint newspaper, and to what we discussed when we began the show this morning, there are grievances as to the investigation of the EFCC. But the EFCC is saying, no, we don't have any sacred cows in this matter. Anybody can be investigated, you know? And so the EFCC has cleaned out the table to say, if you are called, come and answer, and let's stop politicizing this. But let's quickly make our way to the Guardian newspaper this morning as we see this issue, Etoma, of Ibom Air. The IG has ordered the probe of Kwam 1. It seemed as though the outrage of what happened to Comfort Emerson has led the IG to say this as well, do you think?
Yes, and there are quite a number of write-ups on social media on comparing both situations, and why should Kwam 1 have, why should I say, look, we are going to look into it for Kwam 1 and he's free. He's even had a show, you know, and so on. And Emerson was dragged out of the plane into the bus straight to Kirikiri.
That's right.
You know, so that is giving some kind of impression. Yes, that because he is a VIP, that's why that's happening. So is it that Nigerian laws are different for the VIP and different for the regular people?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the IG has to step in.
Absolutely,
Absolutely. He has to step in and say, look, man, we are still continuing with this investigation. Give Nigerians the assurance that, look, everybody is the same under the law.
Exactly. I love the fact that he had to step in, because honestly, on social media it's been buzzing. You know, when you check blogs, you check the comments and everything, people are saying that, why differentiate? Why is this person a VIP and this person a common? At the end of the day, we are all Nigerians. Once you have a Nigerian passport, it makes you a Nigerian, and you should be respected as well. So I'm happy that this is happening, because of course, you know, there's no way that Kwam 1 will not be probed. So I'm happy that we're seeing this, so that it doesn't look like, oh, it's just one-sided at the end of the day.
And Ibrahim, this Nigeria, about 4,000 complaints has been lodged already. But for this Emerson's case now, the NBA is issued a statement to say that life ban should be withdrawn. What do you think?
Yes, because according to the section 36 of the 1999 Constitution, she has the right to move around, you know, personal civil liberty or using personal liberty, where you can't restrict someone's movement, whether she wants to fly or anything. Because even if you have an act, the act is still subservient to the grand norm of the Nigerian Constitution. So if it's conflicting, then it can go away. So she still has the ground to appeal, you know, this particular, what's it called, the judgment, so to speak, that has been
made on her.
So one thing is, whether what we saw was still what happened to Kwam 1, or the other one that we've seen, and this particular one, there are different issues that had happened. Some of them, they just looked away. Some, they try to, you know, do one or two. Probably because it involved you know, prominent persons. Let me just put it that way. The lady became prominent.
No,
by
now,
virtue of-
now, now she's
by
a
virtue of
popular girl in Nigeria.
what happened. So we can't exactly say it is the same situation.
Yeah.
So we have to look at each case based on its
Differently.
merit.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful that she can appeal, actually, because
Yeah.
a life ban is quite a lot. You
Oh,
know, she
my.
would have to travel at one point
my.
or the other for different reasons.
Yes.
So the fact that she can appeal, you know,
All this is happening because we're having more stories, you know, coming out from passengers that were in that plane from Uyo to Lagos, who saw everything from beginning to the end.
That's
You
right.
know, we saw what social media
Yeah.
showed us, and
there were different accounts
and
too.
with so many different
Exactly.
accounts. So
Exactly.
now, initially, we saw the girl as being brash, rude, you know, entitled, and so on. But with stories that are coming out, it's beginning to look as if
It's a bit-
maybe she
it
has
looks
Also,
different,
just
right?
to quickly add to that, the comments I got on social media about people sharing their experiences on Ibom Air were not the best. You know, and you can tell, Ibrahim said something yesterday about having a CCTV in the plane. I think it's high time we have that,
There
because
should be.
nobody knows what happened before that.
Yeah.
Even though we agree that she may have acted unruly, but what happened,
That
what did
led
the
to that.
airlines do to her for her to act like that?
That's right.
That is now the question on my table.
It's important, and this, you know, petitions that Nigerians have filed against airlines, we need to see what really it is all about, so we can all be rightly informed about what happens. But the Leadership newspaper is shifting attention this morning, ladies and gentlemen, on to the matters of prison break in Nigeria. The COS has said 7 escapees have been recaptured. Manhunt underway for 9. This is the prisoners who escaped Kefi prison. This is the third already this year, Etoma. It's a bit worrisome.
Yeah.
I was asking somebody before the program, I said, when last did Nigeria build a prison?
Right.
It's as if all our prisons predate our independence.
Of course.
That means they are obsolete.
Yeah.
So you should expect prison breaks happening frequently.
Yeah.
You know, and the way this Nasarawa case happened is not as if it happened as if these guys didn't plan it. They just saw an opportunity and they used it. And that's why we have so many casualties, warders casualties, because it was an opportunity. Let's fight through. And 16 of them took off. They didn't even go far. And I think 6 of them were captured. They are pursuing 9 now. It is time we started looking at our prison reform programs and start doing something about it.
And
Yeah.
Ria, the Daily Times is talking about the same thing
Same
also.
issue.
But before we nail on that, there's a lovely picture story right there of the president and the DG of NAFDAC. I wanted to say the beautiful.
No, she is.
She is actually
elected.
beautiful.
I couldn't
Let's
agree
give her
less.
our flowers.
Right.
A beautiful grandma.
But I wanted to be careful about that. You know, she visited the president yesterday at the villa. NAFDAC is doing well under her leadership as well.
I would say NAFDAC is doing a fantastic job. And I'm not saying this as a feminist, but I say what a man can do, a woman can certainly do better. And
Right.
we're seeing her, you know, pulling
Rhea.
all the strings. What?
Rhea.
We're seeing her pulling all the strings. I'm very proud of her because NAFDAC is such a big establishment, very important, you know, in Nigeria. So I'm happy with what she's doing. I must give it to her.
Yeah.
And she looks beautiful doing it as well.
What a
So
man-
many reforms
what a man
have been
can
made
do best, a
under
woman
her.
can do better.
Oh, please. But I want to move to the
prison matters.
the Kefi story. I'll tell you something, Nelson. You know, this prison is overcrowded, first of all. It was built for 340 people. And right about now, we have over 750 people in that prison. So first of all, you can see that it's overcrowded. And again, I think that we really need to work on, you know, reforms when it comes to prisons, because some of the walls are bad, some of the padlocks are bad. We cannot keep allowing criminals escape, because when they escape, it's not even good for people in the society. So I think that this is something we need to look into critically.
You know,
quickly too.
There was a story
fast.
on this same matters. This was on This Nigeria actually. It said 88,246 mentally ill inmates in custody nationwide. This is quoting the NCOS. It's a sad one, really. I hope that we can fix this. And Ibrahim, the Hope newspaper is also talking about the same thing. And the NCOS has admitted that crisis in managing prison congestion is becoming a Herculean task. Because we're having, like she just rightly pointed out, more number of persons in small capacity holding of. I mean, isn't it high time we build something new?
So I think we have about 80,000 inmates, you know, in Nigeria, well over 70. So I think it's about 80,000, you know, across the nation. And you can imagine the number of prisons that we had. Remember in 2020, there was this jailbreak during the EndSARS. It happened in Lagos, happened in Benin, happened in some other states, where you saw these people going into the society. And most of the people, even though it is now correctional service, are these people
being corrected,
character-wise, because they get back into the society. We've seen people who, it was a jailbreak, but they went out still stealing, committing crimes, and all because it is inborn. And I think that is called recidivism, you know, when people get back to the kind of crime that they've done. And people who are some of the criminals who are on death row, the governors are not willing to sign, because I guess he who has no sin should be the first to cast the stone.
And you now say, okay, when
and some people are waiting trial. We should just try to speed up the trial and allow them.
Because the delay increases
and you know that
the
just the time that on this table we're having conversations about, you know, the prisoners getting to vote, and now look at them, they're fleeing away.
So who's going to vote for prison?
Let us look at it from this point. The justice system, the wheels of the justice system in Nigeria grinds too slowly. You know, we need reforms there. Number two, the federal government has to take another look at prison reforms in Nigeria, not just building prisons, but creating systems that work.
That's right.
These two things have to be taken seriously, and it has to start yesterday.
I couldn't agree
now,
less.
immediately.
And Etoma, News Direct is raising the alarm of what the EFCC say. It looks like a new pattern of shielding stolen assets. This is according to the EFCC, saying public officials pre-declaring assets to mask corruption. It would seem like, okay, so you know how to catch us like this, right?
Yes.
We're going to find another means.
Style.
It is natural human reaction to things. You block this way, I look for another way. It's a survival instinct that human beings have.
Right.
You bring a new app that will make it impossible for me to do this. Somebody is already cooking up another app that will mess this one up. It is unfortunate that things like this are happening because our politicians end up being leaders. You know, now, how do you build your leadership on lies? How do you build your leadership on deceit? And if EFCC has found out that that's the case, then please publish their names.
Exactly. I think that's the best way to go about it. And for our politicians, you know, you can enjoy yourself and do well without stealing. Like, I feel like when you even steal, it's trouble on yourself. Now look at, you're looking at different ways to now go about it. Like,
Ria, don't be surprised that the number of people waiting outside to get into power to steal are way more than the people that are stealing the power.
I'm telling you, I know.
But Ibrahim, before we let this off, and this is on the platform times as well, the Code of Conduct Bureau is there, right, to, should I use the word, to itemize any of asset you declare before you come into office. So shouldn't that then be, you know, shouldn't they be working with the EFCC to ensure that whatever is declared is rightly declared?
They're only anticipating what the Code of Conduct Bureau would certify as to what belongs to them. And some of them, they also anticipate that, okay, by the time I get into power, I will steal this, or I'll get this into my coffers. So they will anticipatorily add the name that I have so amount of money in there.
What?
So why, and that question that you asked, why are we so avaricious? Why are we so covetous about things that don't belong to us?
Like,
and
why?
it's so sad that some of the people that they are representing, they'll be asking them, brother, you know, it's our turn. When you are getting into power, it's our turn. Let's make money.
Remember the allowances, like, you know, like you should, like this. Remember the allowances that some of you know, our elected officials take home.
When you say some of us,
to take something else from that, you know.
You know, when you see that, I think that should that just not be enough, rather than, you know, going through different measures. But I like the fact that EFCC is seeing this as well. Anything they bring, they should see it and check it. To checkmate everything.
Ria, Ibrahim, let's take you to the sporting life and this issue of
my guy,
you know, he's saying that Galatasaray didn't respect his contract.
No, it's actually Morata that is warning Osimhen that the contract that they signed, I think it's in some millions of euros, that they only paid some amount. He had to forgo some amount of money. So he's only warning Osimhen, because when he was getting there too, it was so, people were so jubilant, happy that it was coming, and then he did what he had to do, but because they defaulted in some of the contracts. So Osimhen has signed a very huge amount of money, you know, and then he will be receiving some amount of money again, you know, at the end of the year. So he's only saying, Osimhen, you need to be careful. Don't be so overly excited. So we just have to warn Osimhen that, guy, be careful as you're going in. Make sure money for hand,
Back for
I saw a breakdown.
Okay, left for ground. Left for ground.
I saw a breakdown of how much Osimhen is making, and that young man is supposed to be making 72 million naira a day.
Yeah.
From
Are you thinking about football?
no, let's break it down.
Oh, he's breaking it down to naira.
We're Nigerians. Let's break it down to naira. 72 million a day.
Etoma, I know you can still play football.
Me.
Yes.
Okay. Before this table blows in flames, I think that's how far we can take you on the Newspaper Review segment this morning. But coming up on TVC Breakfast, assault claims put Ibom Air passenger behind bars as incident sparks national outcry. We'll talk more after the break.